I remember watching Gamrot fight Arman, and I remember him scrambling and being such a great scrambler that if Arman wasn't as elite a wrestler, he would have gotten lost in those scrambles. I wondered if Salkilld would be able to handle that. First action is a scramble. Salkilld handles it. Then Gamrot rolls to a leg lock. Salkilld handles it. Then the next thing is what surprised me the most, and probably what was most impressive. He goes and he takes him down, guys. He goes and he takes him down with a beautiful double leg, great timing, and then submits him. It's always fun when you get a young prospect that truly does announce himself to the elite, and you get the feel that it's believable, and he could take this way past what many thought he could.
Listen, the guy's big for 155 pounds. He obviously has incredible power. He's incredibly skilled. He's got ground skills. He can wrestle. He's strong. He's big. And he's got power. And he's tougher. He's tough as hell. You can tell everybody. The one thing you're going to run into when you're fighting anybody from Australia or New Zealand is they're going to be tough as fuck. That's just the reality of it. That's just a different culture. It's just the way they're born and raised. They're just tough people. So for Quillan Salkilld, prototypical badass fighter from Down Under. Big fan of all the oceanic fighters. I think that's what you say. Oceanic.
I don't slack off in any discipline, and yeah, I like the ability to, find the finish in all areas. I'm no specialist. You get if you're a specialist in this game, eventually you're going to get exposed in those areas. So I just train to have zero holes in my game.
Yeah. And what sort of message do you think your performance set out today, apart from just being a jack of all trades?
I just showed everyone that I'm the real fucking deal, and that I deserve to be in that top spot in the lightweight division.
Quillan Salkilld. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a great name. The headlines were everywhere. As soon as Quillan beat Gamrot, the headlines were everywhere. Henry Cejudo says this kid is good. Jake Ellenberger says let's get him in there with the top 3. Brendan Schaub says welcome to the top 5. Other fighters are saying this is future champion. All right. I want it to be true, but what did they see that I didn't see? It's not a commentary on Quillan. Boy, that guy, he's got a rocket tied to his ass. I mean, this kid's got $300,000 in bonuses. We're only halfway through the year. Oh, by the way, he's now a winner of a main event.
For me, this was the challenge I wanted to see. Like, how would he do against this gritty wrestler, one of the top wrestlers in this division? And he answered that question, with flying colors. The way he went out there and was very calm. He looked like the veteran, and Gamrot looked like he was making his UFC debut. Now, how much of that had to do with Gamrot's maybe lack of performance, I don't know. But either way, Salkilld is extremely skilled. And he knows how to finish when the opportunity arises, not to mention how not to get finished, because he was in a knee bar that was extremely tight, showed a ton of grit and toughness and skill to get out of that. But other than that, he really dominated a guy in Gamrot who has given a lot of guys in that division, Arman Tsarukyan, by the way, fits. So the fact that he was able to perform like that, I was extremely impressed.
I got to be honest, man. I thought the kid was good. I'm like, he's talented. He's this, he's that. But man, this kid way outpunted the coverage. He's way better than I thought he was. And I gotta be honest, man. I don't want to say eat crow because I didn't say anything bad about him. I was just somebody who was like, this might be a little bit too much for him. I was actually about to put a tweet out, basically saying like, man, this kid, I think this fight might be too much for him. He's gonna get wrestled to death. He's gonna get controlled. And the grind of a 5-round fight. I was also thinking, I'm like, he was fighting at such a pace in that first round. Transition after transition, and then the takedown, gets the takedown. But this kid was escaping the submission, doing all these things. And somebody just put here, it says Will Smalls, US. He said like Aussie. But guess what, man? None of you dudes know how to wrestle. This kid just took down Gamrot. What are we talking about? This kid can wrestle, man. This kid can wrestle.
Mateusz is a great wrestler. I mean, he's used that to amazing effect over some great fighters, and he's got good submissions. But when he goes out there against the Australian striker, can't take him down, can't maximize on the ground, then there's, not consciously but subconsciously, there's a meltdown happening, going, holy shit, this is how I won the fight. And he's beating me, I'm getting shut down. You know, you go into panic mode. As I said, not consciously, but like things start to go wrong internally. You start making bad decisions. You know, started taking risks, pardon me. He's just got it all. He's got the grappling, he's got the composure, he's got the athletic ability. He's tall and long as well, expertly takes the back. I didn't have this on my bingo card, him choking out Mateusz Gamrot in the first round, but it just goes to show, this Quillan Salkilld is for real, man. I'm telling you, he's a problem for this division.
The most impressive thing to me about Salkilld in this fight is how he kept the back while Gamrot was doing all these unorthodox rolls, he was almost slipping off a few times. And
he got high a few times
enough, which was very impressive, because I know Gamrot is very good at grappling.
I'm a jack of all trades, you know. I got many weapons in the arsenal, and I'm going to use every single one of them to get the job done. Just so happened that I got to his back and snatched that neck, and you know, got to prove to everyone that I belong in that up echelon of the division, and that, you know, I can finish the fight not only on the feet with one shot, but on the ground also.
He's very
respect
chill.
to everything, because I know how hard Gamrot is to do that too. But I would have liked to see the fight go a little bit longer, so we could have seen more of Salkilld. See his, you know, that punch changed everything right off the bat. You know.
At what point did Gamrot lose that fight? Now, if you watched it, you have an answer. It's not a trick question. It was a check hook, right on the chin, and that changed him. Now, I understand this, by the way. The hardest I've ever been hit was by Damian Maia. Nobody even saw it. I ended up getting submitted in that fight, allegedly. Nuances within the rules, not by a reasonable standard. But I ended up getting submitted in that fight. The submission had nothing to do with it. It was the punch that he had landed earlier.
This dude has been fighting like in the UFC officially for 18 months. And he's 6-0 in that time, 5 first-round finishes. And already, I'm guessing, will bust into the top 5. If not, he'll be just on the outside of it. But to skyrocket that fast, you know, into the situation, and he was one of those guys because he had that head kick KO that was played on the B-roll all the time against, was it Hakparas? Was that the one he knocked out? And it was like, you know, that was played all over the place. There was some hype on his name, and I always feel like there are certain guys, especially at 26 years old, who let that go to their head, and you're bound to see a little bit of a disappointment or an exposure. And I felt like we got none of that. So I'm not sure what to be most impressed by, but dude, I am impressed on every level from that guy.
I do believe that Salkilld called out Benoit Saint Denis. That's interesting. That's a great call out for one. It's very hard, particularly at 155 pounds. It's very hard to break into the stars, right? We got 10 guys that are ranked, but 5 of those guys are stars. And it's very hard to get into that mix. They all just keep finding a way to play with one another. And being a winner off of a main event and then going after a guy who's got the big name but is coming off of a loss, I have no problem with that.
Quillan Salkilld absolutely dominates Mateusz Gamrot and finishes him easily in round 1. Easily in round 1. Not by surprise, not by a whoopsie-daisy RKO win off the back foot, where you're like, if you run it back 10 out of 10 times, it don't happen that way over and over again. This was like a fight where you're like, oh shit, 9 out of 10 times Quillan Salkilld beats Mateusz Gamrot. Insane performance. Insane performance.
Gamrot tried and tried and tried and never looked like himself against a guy who's 26 years old and, to your point, has not even been in the UFC a full 2 years. Like, holy shit, dude, that is extremely difficult to pull off. I was thinking about what the comparison might be. And again, these are always so silly, Chuck, and I recognize that they are silly because you're trying to reference someone in a way that, you know, the expectations are almost absurd to put it on them. You know, I don't know if this is akin to George St. Pierre, not beating Frank Trigg, but maybe someone a little bit earlier than that, like a Sean Shirk.
it is intriguing to spin it forward and think about how he would fare against all the top names in a division that makes it really hard to get that actual title fight. But this was very strategic on his part to call out Mateusz Gamrot. He comes through in this way, and I just think he's been built in the right way. He's got that nasty prick in him as well. He sort of knows how to get to his weaponry, and I really think the ceiling is world champion for Quillan Salkilld. I'm over the moon with this kid.
Yeah, I mean, you could say he's Quillan it.